Ladies and gentlemen, friends and loved ones, welcome. Now, this video is going to help you to understand the British international education system. One of my ardent followers has been asking me to do a video to explain IGCSE, Cambridge, Pearson Edexcel, BTEC, IB, and all those things, and what they mean and what they stand for. This video is for that reason. To start with, let me just say that the British curriculum is a well-established, coveted curriculum across the world. So what the Britons did, they tailored a space specific for the international market, clients that are outside Britain. They tailored a curriculum for us, and that is what is called the British International Curriculum. Now, that is the curriculum. But under this curriculum, there are different examining bodies. And I'm going to very fast take you through these examining bodies. I will start with the big names. For instance, let me start with Pearson Edexcel. Now, Pearson Edexcel is an examining body. In other words, Edexcel is Pearson's academic exam board, which offers British-style exams, qualifications, and certificates for students taking the British International Curriculum. What I'm saying is this, that if and when you are taking the British International Curriculum, you can decide either as a student or an institution to go with the Edexcel Pearson as your examining body. Although there are other examining bodies that I'm going to talk about. So this is just one of them. But the choice is yours. Now, under Pearson Edexcel, we do have certificates like IGCSE. Pearson Edexcel offers certificates like IGCSE. IGCSE simply stands for International General Certificate of Secondary Education, that is offered at secondary level. Under Pearson Edexcel, we also have A-level certificates. Pearson Edexcel gives sets, exams, assessments, and award certificates for A-level. Under Pearson Edexcel, we also actually have BTEC. Most of you may not know that BTEC is actually under Pearson Edexcel, although BTEC is more of a vocational qualification. It's not purely academic. BTEC stands for Business and Technology Education Council. BTEC tends to prepare students for the job market by offering skill-based assessments and training in things like engineering and ICT and etc. Now, that is as far as Pearson Edexcel is concerned. But as I said, that is just one of the examining bodies that you or your institution can choose to take under the British International Curriculum. Let us look at another one. Another examining body is called Cambridge. Now, Cambridge, which in full actually should be Cambridge Assessment International Education, is run and managed by the Cambridge University in the UK. Now, Cambridge is also an examining body under the British International Curriculum, meaning that you may prefer to go with Cambridge over Pearson Edexcel. In my next video, I will actually explain each and every of these examining bodies, what are the features, what stands out about each of them to help you make a more informed choice for the examining body you will go for under the British International Curriculum. Now, let me talk about Cambridge. Cambridge also offers certificates for Cambridge primary certificates, Cambridge lower secondary certificates. It offers Cambridge IGCSE for secondary level, and it also offers AS and advanced level certificates. Now, apart from Cambridge, there is another examining body which you might have heard of, which is simply called IB. Now, IB in full is International Baccalaureate. But IB, and this is important, unlike Cambridge and Pearson, is not tied to the British international curriculum. Actually, IB is a global curriculum examining body that offers, manages, and certifies students across other curricula apart from the British curriculum. And maybe you may be aware that IB offers primary year programs, middle year programs, and diploma programs as well. Now, that is as far as the examining bodies are concerned. Up to that level, you must be where you are, thinking over them and wanting to understand what is the difference. Just wait for my next video. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, be sure to comment, and wait for my next video where I will do a simplified approach and an analysis of each of those particular examining bodies and what features define them. Anyway, before I pen off, let me just take a minute or two to explain to you something else that is thrown about and maybe you may not really understand what it means. This is the British International Curriculum key stages. Probably you have heard things like key stage 1, key stage 2, you've heard things like year 10, year 7, and maybe you don't really get to understand what does this mean. Relax, I am here for you. Now, the British International Curriculum is structured in stages. Basically, it has 5 stages, and I want to take you through them very fast. We have the key stage 1. The key stage 1 is in other settings called year 1 and 2. So year 1 to 2 is the same as key stage 1. And here, this is a stage in which students between the years 5 and 7 fall. It is a basic skills stage where students are generally introduced to, reading, writing, maths, and science, general introduction. It happens after the nursery level, foundational level. After the key stage 1, which I've said is also called year 1 to 2, we move to key stage 2. Key stage 2 is for students between year 7 and 11. Key stage 2 is also called year 3 to 6. That is where key stage 2 falls. Now, it depends with the setting because some institutions actually just refer to it as, you may hear someone saying, I'm in year 5. Other institutions will say key stage 2. So basically, year 3 to 6, in other words, is the same as key stage 2. After key stage 2, we move to key stage 3. Now, key stage 3 is for students between the year 11 and 14. Key stage 3 is where the subjects now broaden and foundation for secondary education is built, and key stage 3 is also referred to as years 7 to 9. So if you hear someone saying, I'm in year 8, I'm in year 7, year 9, basically they are in key stage 3 of the British International Curriculum. Then we move to key stage 4. Now, key stage 4 is what we now all refer to as the secondary school level because key stage 3 is lower secondary. Now, key stage 4 is for students between the years 14 and 16, and key stage 4 is also referred to as year 10 to 11. Now, here is where students will finally sit for their international General Certificate of Secondary Education. At the end of key stage 4, students are expected to sit for their IGCSE because they have completed their secondary level education. Finally, we have the key stage 5. Now, key stage 5 is for students between years 16 and 19. That age of 16 and 19 is where key stage 5 falls, and it is the final key stage in the British International Curriculum ladder. Now, some people like to refer to it as years 12 to 13. After CAIE Stage 5, year 12 to 13, students will sit for their A level exams. Of course, we have those who will go for their BTEC and, as I've explained, any other diploma levels or university. Now, basically, ladies and gentlemen, this video was meant to achieve just that. I hope where you're seated now, you have some basic understanding of what British International Curriculum is. You now know what Cambridge, Pearson Edexcel, BTEC, IB, Key Stage, years, year 2, year 5, all those things, you now know what they mean. But as I promised, please be sure to subscribe, to like, to leave a comment, because in my next video, I am going actually to explain to you what you need to know about each of these particular examining bodies. Until then, have a good